Guten Tag. Today we'll be seeing that how Hyperint made some new updates. Okay, this is a really random video. I just realized I posted it. So without starting off, we definitely have realized that the UI looks a little bit different from before. You see how there's like more bevels, more things. Things look a little bit lighter. And also when I'm playing as Italy, I don't think this was here before. I think it's another mission. But anyways, we also have the policies. Where Hyperint added these little icons. A lot of icons, change a little bit of things. We also have things such as projects. Now, projects are something that's completely new. I think it's a major update of this game. But what it does is it gives you progress or things to make your things faster. So for example, like if you have an insurgency, you can use counter-insurgency operations instead of otherwise. You also got internal stability, this economy, things like this that just helps you to give you better things. So here's whatever grand drilling things. So when you stack, it basically just gives you plus 21 output. So there's all of these things, but only some of them can work if you have certain laws such as working hours or whatnot. Let's see what else they got. Centralized military political influence, things issue royal decree. Well, I'm not really sure what this does. I think it just gives you some political power and whatnot, but I can definitely see how people will use this new program or projects or whatnot to help them out. So we also let me see what happened. We also have dynamic flag for some other countries such as the European Union, Iberian Union, Knights Hospitalier, Spanish Empire, Afghanistan, Cameroon, Malta, Mongolia, and Cooked Islands. Now Cooked Islands, that's a really random country. I think let's see their dynamics flags, because I feel like Cook Islands is a really random country for you to get dynamic flags, but I think Iberia just added it because why not, right? They also added a new technology. Let's see. This is I think it's parallel bureau operations and things like that, and they also added a nuclear disarmament peace deal, which I will showcase just in a second. But you see, made the UI a lot cleaner, made everything a little bit better. Another thing is they also added something called okay, where is Cooked Islands? They also added something called a petrochemical facility. Now, to be honest, all you need is some oil. So if you have an oil such as Saudi Arabia and things, you can use this to produce consumer goods. But obviously it is not as good as civilian factories, and plus it's kind of lower yield as well. So unless you have like a shit ton of oil, it doesn't really make sense for you to make a petrochemical facility. So it is more of a late game item. So let's invade New View real quick to show you the nuclear disarmament thing. So this, I believe it should be at the bottom. What it does is it just gets rid of the nuclear program, which is this program right here. It's a theoretical nuclear research, uranium enrichment, and nuclear weapons design. This thing, it's kind of like in the real world. So say you invade somebody to get rid of their nukes, you can just do this to disarm their nukes. But I feel like it would be better if you just annex the country and stuff like that. Okay, and the next feature is, let's play this real quick, is the ability to do a single releasable. So instead of that, we don't even have to do this. We can just release this and then play as this exact country. So hold on, so if you do this, you will basically be able to play as Odessa, say this country, immediately, and plus you now start with manpower. As before, you will not start with any manpower. Another thing, and now we go into the changes. We have factory output. Now, it says that some factories will run up between 5 to 10% efficiency if you do not have enough input, but they will not use positive factory output modifiers and not provide any resource income. Now, this isn't too major. Basically it says that your factory will keep making goods if it's not getting enough resources, but it will just not give you any resource income. Now, and as we mentioned, we had some icons to make the game look a little better, just make things look a little different. And now we are going into a global population board. Now we can now see that there is a global population about 2.4 billion across the entire server. Now the global population thing was not here before. Back then it was only your own population, and if you wanted the population of the entire world, you would have to guess on what population it is. Another thing is that resistance has been nerfed again. The resistance has been nerfed again. which is, I guess, a good thing. We're not depending on if you like to abuse resistance like Yugoslavia. Now, we also have a deep battle theory. So the deep battle theory is, I think they buffed it because I feel like nobody was really using this, so Hypern decided to buff it. But to be fair, no one really uses military operations anyways, so I guess it matters. Okay, now we have something important for the VIP people. Okay, now he has added something such as ideology cost, specific resource output modifiers, that has policy, not has policy, and has leader requirements. To be fair, I haven't got a clue what this is either, but I think we can check that out ourselves. So, I think I figured it out. So say we have this. If we have a new modifier, right, which we can make a modifier, so let's just name this modifier real quick. So we have things such as ideology cost. This what it is, it just makes ideologies cheaper. So say we make ideology cost 50% more expensive. So give that to Odessa real quick. Say that. What this does is it's just going to make your ideology more difficult to get. So say usually it takes 250 political power to get, right? Now it requires 275. This is really useful. For example, if you don't want people to switch ideologies, right? You don't want people to switch ideologies? Bada boom. Now nobody can get this ideology. So now you're locked in your own ideology, which is very useful. Now, we also have specific resource output modifiers. So, for example, we can say tungsten output, right? Give 500 times tungsten, it's going to give us 500 times more tungsten, but not 500 times more resources, which is different. Okay, thank you guys for watching. This is the minor update, May 24th, 2026.